found this on the World Wide Web, and I feel like I had to.
What'd you find now?
So, according to the cosmetic lane on Twitter, Moses Gibson spent $170,000 on 2 height lengthening surgeries after being subjected to heightism for only being 5'5". He said he struggled to get a girlfriend due to being 5'5". He tried to turn to medication and then to a spiritual healer, like that was ever going to work. But then he realized that his last resort was surgically enhancing his height to give him the height he truly desired.
So he was 5'5".
He was 5'5", had surgery on his legs.
$170K.
Like $170,000.
And it made him how tall? 6'5"?
So no. It don't work that good. He went from 5'5" to 5'8". Now he's trying to get surgery to go from 5'8" to taller. There's a big difference between 5'10" and 5'5".
You can only do so much.
5'8" and 5'5".
Yeah, look, let's be honest. There's a big difference in
Well, the average American height for males
5'8".
is 5'8".
Yes, but $170,000, and this got me thinking. I mean,
170.
What if you're a quarterback that's 5'8"?
No.
5'10" looks a lot better. You can get away with 5'10" a lot quicker than you can get with 5'8". What if you're a guard that's a great shooter? Oh, you're 6'2".
You're not going to get more athletic if you start messing with God's
I'm not saying you get more athletic.
Well,
what if you stay the same athletic, but now you're just taller?
It's never been a better time to be a short king.
No.
Yeah, well, the real question is, David,
it's never been a better time to be a short king.
David, how many surgeries you had? You're 6'7". How many?
Look.
David was
Turns out David is really 5'8".
Okay, I've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
What's the kid's name?
Moses Gibson.
Moses, listen, here. With my experience with the women folk, I get it. You're saying, what would you know about it? Okay, you're a little taller than average. Not much, a little taller than
David, you're 6'7".
5'5" to 5'8". Look, you take that $170K, you stay 5'5". You take that $170K and you start your own business and you blow that up, you 10x that. Maybe you become worth $100 million. And then I don't care if you're 4'5", you're going to have girls beating down the door, okay, to get your hand in marriage.
If you have $170K to spend on 3 inches to get taller, then if you can't pull a girl with $170K, it's not the height, buddy. You're just a lame.
Well,
he's not wrong.
It's when you think about Peter Dinklage's character on Elf. You remember when he's in the boardroom and then everybody's making fun of him. He's like, I get more action in a weekend than you do in a lifetime, buddy.
And he did in Game of Thrones as well.
He did.
So it's not
Peter
just,
Dinklage
wasn't just lucky.
But again, be super rich. That adds at least if you have $1 million, that adds a foot. If you're 5'5", you're 6'5" now. You know what I'm saying? If you're 6'3", I mean, you're almost Yao Ming. So if you're tall and super rich.
Which, if you're spending $170K on 3 inches of height, his whole net worth?
It's 2 different surgeries. He had one surgery to go from 5'5" to 5'8". This next surgery is to go from 5'8" to whatever. Together, that's $170K.
Okay.
Still, dude. Why?
Hold on. We haven't even talked about the procedure. Like, how are they doing it?
That's something I got to look into. Obviously, you got to take something and put it somewhere else.
Exactly.
I'm not a doctor.
You're not going to become more athletic doing that.
We seem to be doing a lot of that lately. But in this case, I think South Park made fun of this one time. But speaking about making fun of, global warming is leading to more home runs, according to Dartmouth researchers. We're going to dive into that. Dan Snyder is finalizing the sale of his Washington Commanders franchise, and we're going to break down spring football for Ohio State, Florida, and UCF. I'm Jake Crane. It's Flamin' Dragon Friday, and you bet your bottom dollar the under's going to hit. This is Crane & Company. You and I see and hear crazy things in the news every day. It's part of our lives now. But one story has caught my eye as one of the absolute dumbest things that I've read in a while, and that's an accomplishment because it's a tall task to win that award. Ari Daniel of the federally funded NPR released an article quoting a new study posted in the American Meteorological Society saying climate change is going to lead to more home runs because as it gets hotter, the air thins out and the ball travels further. Now, if this is true, and climate change has been happening as badly as they tell us year over year, then the math should back this theory up, correct? Well, turns out they're not only bad at science, but you're also bad at math. Last year, there was a total of 5,215 home runs hit in Major League Baseball, as compared to 5,944 home runs hit in 2021. That's almost 730 less home runs hit than the year before. But it doesn't stop there. Home runs are actually down 23% since 2019. So either there is actually global colding, or these guys just have no idea what they're talking about. Now, I don't want to get into is climate change real, because people come here and we come here to talk about sports. But when you geniuses start interjecting sports into pseudoscience, well, we have a problem. So let's make a deal. Bulletin of American Meteorological Society. Let us worry about home runs, and you guys worry about trying to trick everybody into thinking the world's going to end in 12 years. I'm going to bring in my co-host, David Cohn, who's so tall he could tell you how climate change is going. And then my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver. We know what today is, and we know who he is on Fridays.
This is flaming vodka!
Thought of your sensei.
I really wish my hair looked like in the graphic. Ponytail, it's a nice six-pack.
You can make that happen.
I know we don't do politics, but the poll is climate change real? So I kind of did that after you said it.
You control,
Whoopsies.
Just like the climate, you control the polls. So I want to start with, real quickly. I know we don't have to dive into this too far because I think this is just another way to try and push this, new religion of climate, whatever. But David, it's not hard to follow the bouncing balls and say, if this climate change, they said, has been happening, so why are the home runs going down?
You make a good point. So is global warming leading to more home runs? Possibly. Nature's weird. Possibly. But you could make the same argument that there are more home runs on hot summer days rather than cool fall evenings, right? I mean, you can make that. So I wrote down 3 things here. It'd be very difficult here in this study to control for every single variable that leads to a home run. And they admit as much in the research here. While changes in technology and player skill will undoubtedly shape the projections we show here, our results highlight that Major League Baseball will need to contend with climate change. So they acknowledge the variables there. Number 2, even if true, it doesn't address any underlying causes of climate change. Yes, we as human beings need to do a better job of protecting and respecting our habitat. I don't think we do a great job in a lot of instances, but the human hubris to think we could control every single aspect of what makes Mother Nature tick and how it's controlled, that's a little bit wild to me. And then 3, I was getting from this article that this is a negative thing. Why are more home runs bad? Why are more home runs bad?
If this was true, then Rob Manfred and them need to start polluting the air at an incredible rate. If they really cared about, if this was true, best thing for Major League Baseball to have, hey man, screw the EV cars. Y'all just keep putting out those F-250s and those diesel burners. We'll have guys hitting 40. There was only 4 guys that hit 40 or more home runs last year. Think about that. This study sucks. Let's be honest.
Well, the guy said he was a baseball fan, and I could see it if it were man, Major League Baseball, there are going to be fewer home runs because of global warming. I could see that angle of it. Why would you hate more home runs?
Yeah, but again, it's just the math doesn't add up. You're telling me you've said climate change has been happening this whole time. It didn't just start last year. Didn't just wake up like Snorlax and a polka flute to wake them up. The math doesn't add up. Home runs are going down. So by this theory, dude, we got global cooling.
Another quote here from the study: climate change is reshaping our daily lives in pervasive ways. See, when you start to
climate change is a pervert?
When you start to use adjectives like that, it seems like you had an agenda beforehand. Now you're writing an article relevant to your life. More home runs is not bad.
The only thing I know is this: when it's hotter, the ball goes farther.
Yes.
Okay. That's the only thing you know when it comes to baseball. Literally, that's it. Climate change stuff. # don't believe in it. I'll be honest.
Well, I know. Look, at the end of the day, you can believe what you want about climate change. I don't care. But just stop talking about baseball. Stop interjecting climate change into sports. All right? Just keep that narrative on on that side. We're just trying to talk. I want more home runs. I think it's great for the game of baseball. Okay? But again, the numbers don't back it up. So before we get to the Booster Club, all right, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn that notification bell on. Tell me in the comments, Do you think climate change is affecting home runs in baseball? I want to get your theory on that. But before we get anywhere, guys, speaking of baseball, speaking about any sports, grilling season's back, baby. It is. All right. And so is Good Ranchers. Crazy part is they never left. All right. And they've got a crazy deal for you. And you know us. We practice what we preach on here. You want free bacon? All right. How about that? How about that sales pitch? Free bacon. Okay, because our friends over at Good Ranchers, all right, we're already a few months in the year, and if you haven't changed the way you buy meat yet, you really need to. Let me tell you 3 reasons why Good Ranchers is fantastic. First off, like I said, they're giving you free bacon for a year. Okay, I should just stop at that. $240 value. That's a pound and a half of bacon in every box. You basically turn into Kevin Bacon. Second, Good Ranchers offers a price lock guarantee. Just another great way to beat inflation. I wish I could lock prices in on everything, but I can't on Good Ranchers, and I did on my interest rate. Lastly, the product is unlike any other. All natural burgers, USDA prime steaks, better than organic chicken. They've changed my standard for great meat, and it'll change yours too. So use our code BOOSTER, that's BOOSTER, for an extra $20 off your order. And when you subscribe, you'll also get that price lock guarantee, meaning your price stays the same. So head to goodranchers.com. and use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, for $20 off your box, free bacon, great meat, a secure price, and a bonus $20 off today. This may be the greatest deal ever offered since the guys threw the tee off the Boston Harbor and said, let's get out of here and go have some fun. But they didn't have $240 worth of bacon. That's promo code BOOSTER at goodranchers.com. Goodranchers.com, American meat delivered, and it's delicious.
Do this now. Free bacon, price lock guarantee. You're helping yourself. You're helping us.
It's hard to find
helping Good Ranchers.
It's hard to find great meat these days.
It is. Well, like
Good Ranchers got it.
Awesome.
When fired up the grill for the first time in a while the other day, and there's just nothing that gets me more hype than firing up a grill when I get the Braves on TV. It just lets me know what time of year it is.
Yeah.
And I'm a-looking and I'm a-liking.
Yes, sir. You made me a steak on that grill.
I did.
And I was
You liked it.
It wasn't a mistake.
I was a liking.
Yeah, you ate it and it was good.
I was a liking.
All right, let's see what's going on in the Booster Club.
Go to Zaki Andrew. What's up, brother? He says, guys, I'm 5'5". Short king. I've heard my fair share of short jokes over the years, but most of them go right over my head.
Well done. Look.
Well done,
That
sir.
guy's a legend.
Yeah,
I bet he pulled.
Embrace it.
That guy's taking $170K. He's investing in a business,
Yeah.
okay, and he's getting a nice return on that.
There's a reason one Lannister was left. Just remember that.
Let's go to Ryan Gade with a $2 donation. He says, hoping for the under,
Oh, it's hitting it,
but
eh?
expecting the over.
It's hitting it.
You know what? That's
what's
a good
it at?
reminder. Hold on, that's a good reminder.
2.5.
Hey, I'm visualizing.
2.5. The
David.
over-under today is at 2.5.
David. David.
Can I get Jake to
don't
say
even have
3
to
of them
say
in
it.
one sentence?
I want a perfect game today.
Perfect.
Wow. You want a PG
Oh, well,
today.
fortunately for you, what's
Game.
my name?
Today.
What's my name?
I don't know. We don't even have names.
Huh?
I'm done
Well,
using names for
Just
the
like
rest of the
David
day.
Cohn threw a perfect game for the
Yeah.
Yankees.
Your
Expect
name's
nothing
you.
less today.
His name's him.
All right, let's go to Brian Hall. What's up, Brian? So I'm pulling for the under, but I'm expecting the under to explode at the end like the Panthers/Canes under 7 last night. 2 points going into third, then 8 total points scored in the third.
Baby Cohn had the Canes.
I know. We went 9-1 in the bets yesterday as a group.
Golly, the
boys.
Bruins, man.
Bruins
they won.
almost went 10-0.
They didn't come.
Almost went 10-0, but they got us on the hook. By the way, speaking of hockey, Connor McDavid.
Yes.
Yesterday, he set the record. I need to
You
look.
sent
up-
it. Hold on. Let me
Yeah,
see if
he
I
said
can find it.
this dude. I'm just telling you, man. He's the Tyreek Hill of the NHL. I'll keep saying it because when you watch him play, he plays at a different speed than what the other guys play at. In a league full of guys playing at a very, very high speed. So we'll find that and get back to you. I can look it up. What else we got?
All right, let's go to Deacon and Norris. She wants to know, where do you have her Reds finishing this year?
Okay, here's and I don't want this to come off as me just absolutely hating on the Reds, but it's going to come off of me hating on the Reds. If you're looking for them to make the playoffs, if you're looking for some huge run, unexpected run by the Reds, I think you're going to be waiting a while because they still don't have the Cats. All right, you look at the division. All right, you look at where they're at over here in the NL Central. You're 5-7 right now. You got the Brewers sitting at 9-4. The Pirates, who we all know they're probably going to fall apart at some point, but I still want to give them hope. The Cardinals I wouldn't bury them yet. We're 13 games into a 162-game season. But if you can finish right there in the middle, I mean, I don't expect a ton from the Cubs. I feel like it would be you need hope. That's what the Reds fans need. They need hope. Look, The Bengals are cooking. We know that. Good situation. The Cavs looking good in the East, making the playoffs. Looks like it's a bright future. The Reds just need to show improvement and give some hope. All right, you're not going to win anything. You'll go on runs. You'll have ups and downs. Maybe you can sneak into a wild card. But I just look at the Reds roster. I just don't see it.
I have the information on Connor McDavid if you want it. All right, so the Oilers' Connor McDavid becomes only the 5th player in NHL history to outright lead the league in goals, assists, and points in a single season, and the first since Wayne Gretzky in 86 and 87. So the first in our lifetime.
Okay,
Is hockey better now than it was with Wayne Gretzky when he played?
Yes.
Wasn't watching.
Yes.
Long
Yes,
ago.
it is. I think it is. The players are better. The game's faster. You haven't lost the physicality of hockey. They've changed some of the rules slightly with the goalie padding and a few other things, but they haven't totally changed the game. It's basically the same game, just with better athletes and more depth with the athletes. But does the NHL not have a triple crown? Like Major League Baseball? Like home runs, RBIs, batting average. You have to have something like that, but I would think points, assists.
Help us out, hockey fans in the chat.
Points, assists, and goals? How would that not be the triple crown?
Yeah.
So if not, then we're starting an NHL triple crown. We'll start it right now. I'll Paul Revere this whole thing.
All right, let's go to Dabo Sweeney. Love to have Dabo in here.
Dabo, what's up, man?
$2 donation. He says, I can see it in Jake's eyes. You fear in the dragon.
Fear in the dragon?
Reminder.
Just
Cone, that's not going to help you.
Who's the
it
original?
never does.
Who's the original Dragon Slayer? And stop trying to use our names to get us to use your name. You think I don't know that little subliminal trick that you try and jigsaw everybody?
Don't try to
on
go
there?
deeper than what this is.
I'll go
talk to him.
Don't try to go
talk to him.
deeper.
See,
Yeah.
he's doing it again. He's trying to.
Don't try to go deep. Let's go to Rob Boudreaux. What's up, Rob? $5 donation. Appreciate it, buddy. If climate change is real, why don't we change the name? First ozone layer, global warming, and now climate change. We do keep changing the name.
Well, we do the same thing with.
We don't.
I haven't
You
changed
do,
it
David.
once.
You're
You know what I call
Fine,
it?
I
and you need to
changed
stop it.
But the name I have for it hadn't changed. I call it outside. But mine.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, I'm going outside. Man, it's warmer outside. Man, it's colder outside. Man, this weather's trash outside. When we do this with a lot of things, like UFOs. They change UFOs all the time. I don't even know the name of what UFOs are now. It's like ATVs, UAB, ATVs. I thought an ATV was a four-wheeler. Like, they just keep changing it. I'm just going to keep calling it the same thing. But speaking about calling, we do have live calls today. All right, 7:15 a.m. Central. All right, and if we can take them early, let's take them early. You need to call in early because it gets packed like they play for NC State. But I do, guys, want to get into our spring previews that we promised.
Yes.
Yesterday.
We made promises.
We made promises and all access. Somebody asked, I believe, about UCF. So I'm going to take UCF.
Tell me about UCF.
Love
Gus
you some
Malzahn
Gus.
going to the Big 12. This will be UCF and Houston and BYU. And we know that the Cincinnati, their first year in the Big 12. UCF doesn't have to play Texas or TCU in the first year. But let's talk a little bit about personnel. All right? Gus Malzahn, the head coach, you know what you're going to get. The offense isn't changing, friends. It's going to be the same offense you see. They're going to try and just out-formation people, speed it up a little bit, try and get a hat for a hat with the quarterback run game, and then run RPOs off of it. But here's what UCF's got. John Reese Plumlee at quarterback. There's some other guys that are in the mix. They've had a couple transfers. I think a kid from South Florida transferred over there. But we know John Reese Plumlee's most likely going to be the guy. Their spring games is very soon. But he's playing baseball right now.
I was going to
He's
say.
having a split time. He has experience, so I'm not worried about John Reese Plumlee going out there and forgetting how to play football. Now, is he an elite quarterback? I don't think so. I don't think he's a great thrower of the ball. I think he can really just throw the fastball. That's about it. But he'll fluke around and make a good throw deep every now and then. But DeMarcus Bowman, who's a running back that's transferred from Clemson and Florida. All right, they were excited about him when he was at Florida. He redshirted. With what they lost last year, they lost Bowser. They lost O'Keefe. But this kid has a chance, I think, to be their stud. I really believe. I know it hasn't worked out the first couple places. You know, now it looks like a trend of it not working out. But he has all the talent in the world, and if he can figure it out and they use him right, I think he can be a good replacement. Bowser went and chased the bag in NIL, but don't be shocked if DeMarcus Bowman has a breakout year. Darren Henshaw, they've got two new coordinators. Darren Henshaw came over from UAB. You have Addison Williams, who was elevated from the offensive coordinator position. Was elevated from the DB coach. He's the new defensive coordinator because we know Travis Williams, formerly of Auburn,
T-Will.
UCF. T-Will is now at Arkansas with the Razorbacks. Really excited for Trav. Hope he does well. So you got two new coordinators. same head coach, same quarterback. That makes that transition a little bit easier. Then you look defensively. All right, Devontae Brown, who was their best cover corner. He was their boundary corner, which if you don't know, typically your boundary corner is your best man corner, because when teams go trips 3-by-1, typically they put number 1 into the boundary, all right, on that solo side. They're not getting in trips to throw it to the trip side. They're getting in trips to try and isolate their best receiver on a DB and run some sort of combination route, whether it be a double move or whatever, to get open. Don't ever forget that. All right, he's gone. He transferred. Their best nickel, Justin Hodges, got dismissed from the team. All right, but Jakari and his brother Damari Henderson are 2 guys, and Cam Moore are 3 guys that played as freshmen. All right, got some good experience. Look like they belong. They're going to be sophomores this year. I'm expecting big things from them, along with Nakai Martinez, Corey Thornton, and Brandon Adams. They're all going to return. But the guy on defense that the UCF coaching staff is the most excited about was their top-ranked overall signee last year, John Walker. He's a defensive lineman. Could have gone anywhere in the country. All right, this kid can play as an interior defensive lineman. He's a real thing. He's going to look like an SEC kid. He joins Ricky Barber and former Auburn interior defensive lineman Lee Hunter, which should make somewhat of a formidable interior with your nose, your 3-tech in that situation. Now, the offensive line's a question. They lost their best guard and their best tackle. We'll see how they replace them in Gus Malzahn's offense, and in any offense in general, we know how important the offensive line is. But when it comes to wide receiver, they got to replace a lot there too. They lost their slot receiver, who I mentioned, but Trent Whittemore is a kid from Florida they brought in, who I'm interested to see how he does. Is UCF uber talented this year? Is this the most talented team they've ever had? No, not even close. They're going into the Big 12. You have a little bit of an element of surprise. I'm worried about their offensive line, though. And when you look at their schedule,
break down
I've got it pulled up right here. Here's where it goes. All right, so the spring game's tomorrow. All right, it's the Knights versus the Knots. It's what they call the spring game. They got Kent State at home week 1. They go to Boise week 2 to play them on the blue turf. They got Villanova at home. It's football, so Villanova's trash. Then listen to this. They go to Kansas State. They get Baylor at home. You go to Kansas. You go to Oklahoma. You get West Virginia at home, at Cincinnati, Oklahoma State at home, at Texas Tech, Houston at home. I think it's going to be a tough year 1 for UCF.
Man.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. It's going to be a tough
Not a lot
year
of wins out there on that schedule.
No,
I'm gonna be honest.
and look, people say, oh, there's no technical Power 5 teams in your pre-conference schedule. Well, I tell you what, going to play Boise State on that turf, that might as well be a Power 5 game. I'm telling you, it's different.
Agreed.
It's just different. I've been there. We walked through there. It's just different. The air's different. That state's different. That's not going to be, as DeMarcus Cousins said, a walk in the park out here.
Nice breakdown.
Thank you.
I love it. Spring football preview. I'm going to take the Ohio
Your Buckeyes.
University
Your
Buckeyes.
Oh, David, I thought you were going to say
Your Buckeyes.
11-2, Ryan Day last year. The spring game is this weekend. It's on the Big Ten Network. Am I going to be watching?
Yes.
You bet. Yeah, I'm going to be flying over practice with a helicopter, because if you don't scout your enemy, how can you beat
Keep your friends close,
You know?
and your enemies close.
Exactly. First home loss to Michigan last season in 2 decades. First time since I've been affiliated with the rivalry. And what do they turn around and do? You put Georgia on the ropes in the semifinal game. You know, they had Georgia down to the wire in that game. Look, the Buckeyes are going to be back. You can never keep this team down for too long. But let's really break it down. Here are some of the losses. Obviously, Heisman finalist C.J. Stroud is gone. And you saw the Texans come out and say, well, we don't know if we're sold on C.J. Stroud at 2. Nice try, okay? Yeah. Save the tricks for the cereal box,
That's
all right?
exactly
I'm not buying into it. But you also lose Jackson Smith and Jigba. Not a huge loss from the season, because he didn't end up playing that much, but one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the country. How much is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to be a factor next year? Is he going to really dig in and play, or is he going to, is there going to be another Jackson Smith and Jigba situation, and he understands that he's going to be a top-round pick and maybe focuses his efforts on the NFL? I don't know, but the offensive line, both tackle positions, you guys know the trees I'm talking about.
Yes.
Paris Johnson Jr. and DeJuan Jones. They're going to lose both of those to the NFL. So those are huge losses. Kyle McCord, fighting to be the starting quarterback with Devin Brown, but here's an interesting thing. Devin Brown's banged up. Not going to be participating in spring. You boys know you coach for a long time, how important spring practice is. Kevin McCord could really take some strides here in these spring months to be the starting quarterback at OSU. Ahead of the 2023 season, wide receivers coach Brian Hartline, we followed this guy for a long time. He was a great player. He was promoted to offensive coordinator Okay, and while Coach Ryan Day served as Ohio's primary offensive play caller in the past, he's experimenting with Hartline taking some of that responsibility. Here's his quote: "We'll come up for air at the end of spring and figure out what that dynamic looks like going into the preseason and then into the season. We won't decide any of that now, but we'll certainly give him an opportunity to call this spring." So I want to get your thoughts in a minute after I finish the breakdown on what you think about the possibility of having someone else called plays, but you're not sold on it just yet. On the defensive side of the ball, it cannot be overstated the importance of Jim Knowles at defensive coordinator entering year 2 now, coming in from Oklahoma State. Why he decided against Michigan down the stretch to stay in cover 0, I'm not sure. It was the appropriate game plan entering the game, make J.J. McCarthy beat you and sell out on the run game, which they did, and they were effective stopping the run in the first half. But then J.J. McCarthy did what Michigan needed him to do, and he was able to beat the Buckeyes through the air. I expect the Buckeye defense to really take a stride in year 2 under Jim Knowles. Here are some players who are going to be out this weekend. Linebackers Tommy Eichenberg, Steele Chambers. Running backs, look, OSU is going to return 2 of the best running backs in the country. You have Travion Henderson. Injuries were a problem at the position last season, but depth is never a problem. Remember when the Buckeyes lost Beanie Wells?
Yeah.
Beanie Wells leaves for the draft. Mm-hmm. Well, who comes in? Ezekiel Elliott.
Pretty good.
He leaves. Who comes in? J.K. Dobbins. OSU running back depth is never going to be a problem, but Travion Henderson is going to be out for the spring game, as well as Evan Pryor. You got Julian Fleming, Xavier Johnson, and Emike Uboka out at the wide receiver position. Then Jacob James on offensive line is going to be out as well as a couple safeties. A couple key players to watch for the spring game: linebacker C.J. Hicks. Running backs, we were talking about some of the running back injuries. That's going to give Chip Trainum and Dallin Hayden a chance to step up. Remember, Dallin Hayden had some big carries late in the season when Mayan Williams was down and Travion Henderson was down. Jaden Ballard at the wide receiver position is going to be an interesting playmaker to watch in the spring game. And then safety Cameron Martinez. And then here's the breakdown of their schedule, all right, for the Buckeyes. At Indiana to start the season. They're going to start with a Big Ten opponent. Youngstown State, home. Western Kentucky, home. They go to Notre Dame. This was that home and home here, the second leg of that, with former Buckeye Marcus Freeman in year 2. He's going to have Sam Hartman at the quarterback position, really physical run game of their own. Let's see how this one goes week 4 at Notre Dame. You get Maryland at home, you go to Purdue. Penn State, they get at home. They're going to go to Camp Randall in Wisconsin, go to Rutgers. They do get Michigan State at home. They get Minnesota at home, and then they go to the Big House and the Wolverines this season.
That Notre Dame game is going to be huge.
Yep. I'm excited for it.
Here's what I don't understand about Ohio State. Why the hell are y'all messing with the offense? Let me read this. Just think about this, okay? If at the end of last year, I don't know how Ryan Day sat down and said, man, maybe we need to rethink who's calling the plays. You beat Notre Dame 21-10 game 1. All right, game 1's a little bit different. You got new guys in new spots. Then you scored 45, 77, 52, 49, 49, 54, 44. You beat Northwestern 21-7 in a nasty weather game.
That was a nasty one.
56, 43, 23, and you dropped 41 on Georgia. Let me go and tell you what the problem is. It's the defense, dog. You know the 2 games y'all lost? You gave up 45 to Michigan, and you gave up 42 to Georgia. Offense isn't the problem. I see this a lot in college football. You don't win the whole thing, so you think you need to change something. But you don't change the thing that hurts you. Oh, I'm the head coach. Maybe I don't need to call plays. No, maybe you should keep calling plays. Maybe y'all should stop somebody's ass when it matters. How about that? So to me, I'd ask more questions about Jim Knowles getting this thing figured out than anything about Ryan Day or Brian Hartline. Why are we, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I know, see, you had older guys there, but when I look at those numbers, if I knew nothing about anything and you just drop that set of numbers on me, I'm saying, all right, don't touch the offense. Whatever the offense is doing, don't touch it. Defense, we just got to play good when it matters. That's y'all's biggest problem.
I think a lot of it has to do, it's different when you're just playing against better players, aren't on the defensive side of the ball. Sure. You go back to that Michigan game, that game plan was terrible. Terrible. And they didn't do what the entire game? Make any adjustments. They came out and cover 0. The whole
That's such
game.
a great point.
The whole game, it didn't change anything. I haven't seen that. Well, I know Jim knows he's a good DC. We all know that. But, like, you don't change. What did you do at halftime? What did y'all even talk about at halftime? That's what I get confused.
Well, here's the part I don't understand. Going into that Michigan game last year, when you look at what was Michigan's problem? Couldn't hit big plays down the field. They couldn't get chunk plays. Blake Corum would squirt out one for 35 every now and then, and they weren't bad on offense, but they would to score. Michigan was having to go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plays. They couldn't hit you. They were a python, not an anaconda. They tried to squeeze you to death. Okay, so when you have a team like that, that's fine. I'm gonna make you not make a mistake for 8 to 12 plays down the field. Most offenses can't do it. All right, or something goes wrong, or somebody drops a pass, or there's a penalty. But no, Ohio State, they outthought themselves, is what I think. And sometimes when you overthink things, you oversimplify things. And they just stayed in cover 0, which if you know anything about coverage, there's no protection. There is absolutely no protection. Like a guy falls down, a guy takes one bad step. There's no help. So the DB, and everybody's on an island. Everybody's on an island. Not only that, linebackers are stuck on running backs. Like you are playing with fire. It was arrogant. It was stupid, and you deserve to get beat for that game plan.
So a couple things there. Michigan not hitting big plays against the Buckeyes, that's not a 1 or 2 season problem, right? That for the last 10 years, really, Michigan hasn't been able to hit big plays against the Buckeyes the way that they have been able to do against Michigan. Blake Corum goes down the week before in the Indiana game, and I think Jim Knowles' plan was, hey, let's just sell out on the run. Don't let Donovan Edwards beat us because J.J. McCarthy hasn't proven to be able to do it. Keep them from having these big drives because that's how they've been scoring. If they don't score in 10-play drives, they're not going to beat us with home runs. And it was working in the first half. Michigan's run game was basically non-existent, and the game was close except for that Cornelius Johnson touchdown, which I think Jim Knowles and the defense just chalked up to, you know what? One mistake, one DB
got beat
mistake,
on one play.
It won't happen again. And then you have the branch nod with Colston Loveland, that they hit the tight end for a touchdown. Then you have another big play, and all of a sudden Michigan starts pouring it on. You see OSU in a little bit of a panic mode, and then you get the 2 big touchdown runs from Donovan Edwards.
Can you tell everybody what the difference between stick nod and branch nod is?
So stick nod, you're 6 back to 5. I'm just calling this branch because when we broke down his route, it was more like 9 back to 8 on the depth of it.
Yep.
So, and they were in the middle of the field on that, and I think it was a 3rd down play, to be honest. So just a longer stick route from the tight end. He breaks out, right? Double move is basically an out and up, but from the tight end position instead of the wide receiver position.
Yeah, for you football junkies out there, think of it like a hitch versus a curl.
You mostly see it on the goal line. You saw Gronk catch so many passes by the pylon. They ran it in the middle of the field, and it was just a beautiful ball by J.J.
But the thing about, I'm so used to Ohio State having that guy on the edge. Yeah. Right, having that guy on the edge. That's why, they usually don't have to get in zero. You had that guy on the edge. Usually 2 of them. That's going to win that matchup. Chase Young.
Who's the guy they had last year? I don't think he's Samoan. It's like Tua's.
I know you're talking
about.
Number 8.
He basically
he beat Penn State
by
down
himself,
the stretch,
pretty much by himself. But he just put on the invisibility cloak. I think against Michigan, or didn't have that big play, or you didn't see those big turnovers, and then they hit the home runs there. But that's a
nice breakdown there, Coney. Let's go to the Florida Gators.
Let's do it, man. Weird spring game, low scoring.
For one word, uninspiring.
Uninspiring?
Watch that game. The game ended 10-7, which is the lowest the score has ever been in the event's history. All right, so that's not a good start already. Neither Graham Mertz or Jack Miller were impressive, in my opinion. They ended with 15-25 for 238 yards. But, if you're Billy, what are you going to have to do? You already said he's going to have to do this. He's going to have to get another one out of the portal.
Yeah, he said at press conference.
Neither of these guys are going to do it for you. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Billy, I want to believe. All right? I want to believe. Even after AR-15 left, I want to believe that you're going to do something. But right now, buddy, it's not looking good when it comes up front. They were missing their starting center, Kingsley. But other than that, really, no one really shined in the position. No one really shined in the entire offense, in my opinion. Pearsall led the Gators with 4 catches, 62 yards. Burke had 2 catches for 55 yards, had a 39-yard reception down the sideline. Pretty acrobatic, too. When it comes to Florida, there's a couple positions I'm not really worried about, all right? Receiver and running back. They're going to have guys. Florida, as a state, is known for what? It's known for speed. If you control the state of Florida, you're going to win a lot of football games, in my opinion. Let's go to the running back position. Montreal Johnson looked pretty good. He had 87 yards on 9 touches. Trevor Etienne, if your last name's Etienne, you play running back, I believe.
For sure.
He almost averaged 6 yards per carry. But Florida always stays with the back no matter what. You go back to Dameon Pierce, they'll always have a guy. The offense averaged 1.8 yards per play. All right, and it's not like Florida's defense looked good, all right? But I think it's really hard to judge a defense and say that they're elite when you're going against an offense like this, all right? So let's look at the defense a little bit. Let's go through the transfers. Caleb Banks, the Louisville transfer, looked pretty good. He's an end, made a sack on the first play, then stuffed a run on third down. He looked pretty good in my opinion. Let's go to linebacker Manny Nuri, the transfer from Houston. I believe he ended with 9 tackles. All right, when you get a linebacker this plus you transfer, I don't need the big plays from you, to be honest. I need you to make the what? The routine plays. I need you to be in your gap at the right time. I need you to get our guys right where up front. Other than that, I think their secondary looked good. When it comes to this Florida team, how much time does Billy need to really get this roster right? I think the biggest thing when it came to the spring game is they signed a 5-star safety during the game. All right, so when it comes Billy, I was always hard on Billy. I didn't think he was the right guy for this job. I still don't think he's the right guy for this job. And you go through their schedule, it's not going to get any easier. What do you have week 1? You got Utah week
out
1.
there.
That's going to be a struggle. You got McNeese State. Then you have Tennessee at home. We'll see about Joe Milton. I don't think y'all win that game. Then 2 weeks ago, to Kentucky with Devin Leary. Good luck. Then you have Vandy, which in the words of DeMarcus Cousins, isn't a walk in the park anymore, right? We saw that where? We saw that last year. All right. Then you go to South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's not going to be easy. Then, surprise, surprise, you have Georgia at home.
Oh.
All right? Then you got Arkansas.
Georgia in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I don't care if y'all played on the island. It doesn't matter. Okay? Then you go where? To LSU. All right? Then you go to Missouri. Then you play Florida State. Good luck.
God. I'm going to be honest. That sucks. I do want to say great breakdown there, Blenny. Are you done? Are you?
Yeah, I'm good. No, yeah.
All right. That's okay. That's okay.
There we go. Got it out.
Get by that.
I do want to say this before I forget. The Division I Council approved changes to the recruiting calendar yesterday, which is kind of low-key and is a low-key change or announcement, but it does have some pretty big repercussions.
Okay.
So the rules were proposed by the Oversight Committee in April, and it will go into effect for FBS teams on August 1st. All right, some of the biggest moves include creating a contact period from April 15th to May 29th that will consist of 140 total recruiting days for a program's coaching staff. The current rule accounts for 168 days, so they're lessening the amount of days that you're able to recruit during that period. It also changes the current evaluation period to a contact period, which would allow coaches to start having in-person contact with recruits that they are evaluating. So it's not technically a dead period. You can actually you can talk to them. Now you can go see them. All right, so that's different. They're also reducing the number of evaluation days in September, October, and November from 42 to 43. They wanted to standardize the procedures for coaches making telephone calls, texts, sending recruiting materials. And now coaches will legally be allowed to have off-campus, in-person contact with recruits after January 1st of the prospect's junior year in high school. That's huge. And also, last thing before we move on, you can now have an unlimited amount of visits to a place. You still get one official visit, okay? Your one official visit, but now you have unlimited visits to the campus, which I think is fine. I've got absolutely no problem with it. So they said they wanted to start having more of a work-life balance for the coaches by reducing the number of days you're actually able to recruit. And as somebody that was in that lifestyle, it never really ends. But I actually think this is a good
Saban's
move.
pissed.
Ruling. Yeah.
Saban's pissed.
Yeah. But so you like this?
I like
it. And this is coming from the NCAA?
NCAA, this is the Division I Council, man. This is it.
Okay.
This is the top notch. But speaking of top notch, every morning I wake up and I choose excellence because I choose Black Rifle coffee. All right, I don't even know if caffeine does anything to me anymore, to be honest. I think it's placebo effect, but I need it. And I want it to taste great, and I want it to get me going. All right, so our friends over at Black Rifle, all right, they've got a ton of different. We talk about Power Llama and Gunship and all these fantastic brews they have. Still talking about a Flamin' Dragon brew. We're trying to pitch that in there. We'll see how that goes. But everybody knows we love Black Rifle coffee, all right? But you don't always have time to brew coffee in the traditional way each morning. That's why, David, you need Black Rifle's ready-to-drink cans. All right, they're perfect for people who need their coffee quickly. They each contain 200 milligrams of caffeine and deliciousness, and they're available in a variety of flavors like vanilla bomb, salted caramel, mocha, and vanilla caramel. If you don't like any of those flavors, you got a problem, not them. Black Rifle Coffee is a veteran-founded coffee company operated by principled men and women who honor those who protect, defend, and support our country, because with every purchase you make, they give back. So stop running out of coffee, and you can sign up for a coffee club subscription to have Black Rifle Coffee delivered straight to your door on schedule. So save money and drink America's coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at checkout for 10% off your one-time purchase or your first coffee club order. Booster Club, Coffee Club, Trust Tree, America. That's blackriflecoffee.com with promo code BOOSTER for 10% off. You can also find Black Rifle Coffee in grocery and convenience stores near you. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. Drink it and be better.
Boom, I love it.
Super lame.
Look, I'm going to get my cinch tank.
Yep.
I'm going to fire up that grill. Good Rancher steak, Black Rifle Coffee, and I have my Indochino shirt.
Now that, you know what we call that? The Triple Crown.
Yeah. We're out here giving you great deals on steak and coffee. I mean, which is basically the breakfast of the Revolutionary War.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Mel Gibson's breakfast.
They threw
exactly
all the tea away, right?
Yeah. There's
They
no
threw
tea.
all the tea away.
It's all in the water in Boston.
Threw it away.
Also, quickly before we move on.
What?
We're halfway through.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Good
David.
job.
God.
We're
Hey,
halfway
that's
through. We're at one.
halftime.
I mean, are you? I mean,
Just said
are
it
you
once. That's
though?
me.
Hey, just
Are
a
you,
halftime-
though?
Just a halftime pep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me.
I need y'all to Ohio State defense halftime this.
Yes.
God, that was lame. Jeez.
So what are they saying in the booster
Shut
club?
up. No one cares. Feeling dangerous. 113.
Not even looking at you.
All right, $10 donation. Appreciate that, brother. You are feeling dangerous. Says if climate change is serious, we wouldn't be studying how it affects baseball and home runs. Well, it might be good for Cleveland, so they can't develop power hitting at all.
That's look, I agree. Even though, last year they had the good run last year. I'll say this. I want our American Meteorological Society to not be worried about home runs. How about y'all worry about meteors and stuff like that? Y'all worry about space. We got this. Y'all just make sure there's nothing's coming to hit us.
I was listening to a Rogan podcast last night. Y'all know a movie, Don't Look Up?
Yeah.
With the asteroid.
With
They're
Leo
talking
in it?
yeah, they're talking about AI, like artificial intelligence. He's like, it's kind of like that movie Don't Look Up, but instead of an asteroid coming from space, we're building our own asteroid on Earth.
Yeah,
I was deathly terrified.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
All right, let's go to Sister Riggs, a.k.a. Mrs. the Queen of the Booster Club. She says, is there a day in the Jimbo Fisher situation where he's actually going to give up some offensive control?
I get asked this like a lot. I have A&M fans that hit me up and they're like, do you think Jimbo's really going to let it go? Yes. I think he is going, beginning of the year, this whole relationship with Bobby Petrino and Jimbo Fisher is riding on the first 3 games.
The first 3.
Okay,
I agree.
and how that goes offensively is going to dictate whether this turns into a beautiful marriage, or it looks once again like Bobby Petrino just got off the motorcycle with the neck brace on. That's what it's going to look like. Because A&M fans, and they shouldn't be patient when it comes to this. The offense, they've got to figure it out. You have 2 unbelievable minds. I think Bobby Petrino does have the cachet. He does have the juice for Fisher to let him do it. And if it's going good, I think, because it's going to make Jimbo look good. If it goes good on offense, hey, Jimbo, great decision. What a humble guy, just full to the brim of humility for letting Bobby Petrino take over the play call. If it doesn't go good and Jimbo Fisher feels like I'm going to get fired because our offense still can't figure it out, then I don't care if it was Moses himself as the offensive coordinator. Jimbo's going to take over. He's going to go get that little green playbook, and it's going to get awfully physical out there.
Man, that little green playbook.
It does.
App State's not on the schedule this year. So
that is true.
it's good.
Is A&M going to win 11 games again, like they're supposed to win every year, or what's the deal?
Preseason, they always are.
Yeah, right? You had them winning the Natty this year, right?
Huh? I said no. I didn't have them winning that. I said I think they will have their best chance to be able to make the playoff or make a run in 2023. I did say that.
All right, let's go to CB Dog 4. He says, Ryan Day is a new Lincoln Riley. All gas, no brakes. Can't win against the best. And let's go down to Stephen Moore. He says, Ohio passes heavy offense isn't giving the defense enough rest time. That's why they're adapting their offense.
Well, see, I don't know. Ohio State had a good run game too.
Alabama started throwing the ball a lot more, and they were still they were scoring 40 and giving up 20.
Yeah, it's as a defensive guy, to me, it's not. If you've got to explain to me a little bit deeper on why you're saying that, because are you saying that because they're not completing passes and they're going 3 and out more and the defense not getting enough rest? Or because when you're scoring like Ohio State is, even if you're scoring on, if you score 5 touchdowns or 6 touchdowns in a game, even if half of those are quick strikes, for you to be able to score that many points, you're on the field a lot. So I think Ohio State's defense did have enough rest, because it's one thing to be an offense like Tennessee that goes super fast. They don't go that fast. Ohio State doesn't go that fast. It's another thing if you have an offense that's going 3 and out all the time and the defense is always out there. I don't care what system you run, that's tough on a defense, but that's not the case for Ohio State. What I think it is Ohio State up front wasn't typically what Ohio State was up front. That's the difference, in my opinion. Just like Alabama wasn't typically what Alabama was up front on the offensive line.
Let's go to CG87343 with the $5 donation. Appreciate it. He says, any thoughts on a dark horse pick to win the NCAA Natty based on a team's makeup currently?
Florida State's going off at plus 1,800 right now. I think Utah's plus 5,000. I almost sprinkled some on Utah yesterday.
To win the
whole
football
shebang.
championship?
There's a couple outside. Look, Georgia's the favorite. I get it. I'm not going to put money on the favorite. Unless I do a parlay and put favorites on all of them. A couple teams to watch for that. I don't think you can really call them dark horses, but they're kind of medium horses, all right, or fair-skinned horses, all right? Florida State, one of them, all right? I think they're going to start in the top 5, top 6, something like that. But then Utah, another one. You look at a team, and I know I'm staying out in the Pac-12, you look at Washington. Look at a team like Texas. You get some great value on Texas right now. Bijan's gone, Quinn Ewers coming back. I think the roster's better. So
odds on Michigan right now?
Man, it's
probably pretty high.
Yeah, I think they're
high as in
top 3 probably.
Oh, okay.
Top 3 or 4.
I would think it'd be Georgia, Bama, Michigan.
Okay, remember, hey, we got calls. Call in 1-855-236-3228. Call right now. That's 1-855-236-3228. Remember, you give us your call sign on the air outside of Cone's leather book. Okay? He gets the Constitution.
Yes.
He messaged me the other day. That's a little bit different. He's been in here since day one. You get a grandfather pass. Congrats. I want to go ahead and get to rapid fire here.
Let's do it. I have some stories for you guys, and I need your thoughts. First one up. A male chess player disguises himself as a woman and cheats his way through the championship tournament. The cunning imposter who kept his true identity a secret by wearing a hijab and never speaking to anyone. Photos here. Registered
That's how he pretended to be a woman?
Registered under the name Millicent Awar, fooling even the tournament staff. However, his cover was blown when he beat former national champion Gloria Jumba and Ugandan top player MPR Shikaria, arousing suspicion from other players and the arbiters.
How's this cheating?
Can I say this?
How's this cheating?
Y'all know us. And Dragon's right, okay?
Good job there.
Thank you. Dragon's right. Men playing like basketball against women and these other sports, I'm going to be the first one to stand up and say it's BS. But chess is a mental game. They're not playing chess and then going to fight for one round outside. They're not playing chess and then going to run a mile to see who can do it faster or wrestle each other. This is mind games. How is it cheating for men and women to play against each other? Are we saying that men are smarter than women?
And first of all, buddy, you didn't even have to do all this.
No,
you didn't have to do all this. Like nowadays, like what? Dog, grow a beard out.
My name's Melissa.
Yeah, your name's Melissa.
Show up with your shirt off.
This is
like they're not going to care. They're going to put you in there regardless.
So they said the tournament staff, initially hesitant to intervene, finally decided to investigate after the 4th round.
How did they investigate?
In a private room, the man was asked for identification, and he eventually came clean, admitting that he was a university student who needed the cash. He was trying to win the money.
He just went about it all wrong, man.
He did. Part of me, though, it's like, you almost got away with it.
You almost.
Okay. Wearing the hijab, if you're really trying to conceal yourself, if you don't know what a hijab is, look it up. You probably already know what it is. I'm not going to sit here and get on the same soapbox about this as compared to like Leah Thomas against Riley Gaines. This is chess. I mean, what's next? Like Monopoly?
Why are there separate divisions in chess?
Yeah. Why don't we just get the smartest? How about y'all just find the smartest person?
Despite having an international rating close to 1,500 and a blitz rating close to 1,750, he gets after the quarterback a lot.
I don't even know what
the
that
imposter player has been kicked out of the tournament. You're out of here, mister.
Yeah.
All his points awarded to his opponent. I agree with you guys. There's no physical advantage here when you're playing chess. Do you still think that they're can be spaces where women can just play chess and not have a man come in, even though it's not an advantage? Or
well, like what?
is it just
Again, like why?
Should just always
Why?
Why?
Like we have to go to the park and say, all right, this is a women's chess bench only. Why don't y'all just play chess? Like, what's the big deal? Wait, wouldn't you want to be wouldn't you want to just be the best at it? Like our brains are wrestling, not our arms or legs.
Yeah.
So as long as
it's not like pawn to F6 and then we're going to arm wrestle.
As long as there's no physical advantage or a safety concern, and there's not here, you guys are fine. Just make.
Well, I feel like physical advantage comes together with the safety concern, because if you're doing something physical, then someone's safety then matters.
Well, I would get it if maybe he was in a division that his rating is like a 16, and you're going up against like a bunch of 8s.
Like me and Rocky.
Yeah. It's like if I'm doing a spelling bee as a grown man against a bunch of kindergartners, I mean that's an advantage. But I think they were all adults here.
We're playing competitively, right? Yeah. There's bumpers, there are leagues that you can be in when it comes to point system. Mm-hmm. So if it is just an open free-for-all tournament, then no, there shouldn't be divisions.
Yeah. I mean, you can still get the business in Rocket. Don't think that.
No, you get slaughtered, Cohen. Come on, you're
all right,
3.
Next one. Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder appears to be nearing an agreement for the sale of his football franchise. Wall Street titan Josh Harris is reportedly leading the way with a $6 billion bid. That figure for the Washington Commanders would set a record for highest price paid in North America for a sports team. Former NBA legend Magic Johnson is also involved in the purchase. Jeff Bezos is out of there.
How the hell are the Commanders worth this much money? What, y'all got $4 billion buried underneath somewhere that I don't know about? If the Commanders are worth $6 billion, then what is everybody else? What are the Cowboys worth?
Yeah.
A trillion?
The Patriots?
They're going to get bought by Dr. Evil?
God, speaking of Dr. Evil, get him off the screen.
Yeah, I don't like when Bezos looks at me like
Jeff
that.
Bezos is out of there. I guess Canadian billionaire Steve Apostolopoulos is still engaged in a head-to-head race.
What'd you just call him?
But this guy, Josh Harris, also owns the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils.
God, can you imagine selling something for $6 billion?
Not really.
Well, see, I don't even know how that works.
What do you do? What's the first thing you do afterwards?
Here's how does that even happen? Does like Keanu Reeves walk in with like a metal briefcase handcuffed to his wrist?
I think so.
That's how I would want it to happen.
I mean, I feel like Morgan Freeman needs to be there. Like, there's a lot of things that need to happen. I'm just ready to get this over. I'm so sick of this Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder's not a good person. All right, I think he did buy the team for, what did they say, $80 million?
Oh, he came up.
You bought it. I don't know what that number. I need to look at that.
You know why? Because he invested in a business rather than trying to make himself taller.
See, Dan Snyder doesn't need 3 inches.
How are the Broncos only worth $4.65 billion and the Commanders are worth?
Someone's gonna have to explain it.
Look, someone's got to be.
Even though the Redskins, the former franchise was sort of an old school, staple of the NFL.
I mean, you should know they got money when they gave all that money to Kirk Cousins to come be average.
Yeah.
I'm so ready for this to be done. And I feel bad for Commanders fans. I feel so bad.
I know,
for them.
I have too. I felt bad.
They're the Redskins.
Jay Gruden and these other coaches who are top-notch coaches, but just couldn't have success there. A lot of that.
Dan Snyder, man.
Happy.
If I'm a coach, I feel like I should have part of that. At least a little pinch, a little taste.
When you win.
How many games?
Not from the jump. I'm not giving Ron Rivera any of that.
Do our boy Ron like that?
Yeah, look, I'm not giving Ron Rivera $1 billion to go out there and almost do good.
I'm not talking about $200K.
He's already making enough.
Yeah, I think his salary's more than that. Last two. Giants star running back Saquon Barkley won't sign the franchise tag or report for this first round of workouts. You guys think this will lead to any problems before the season starts?
I think this is just business. I'm not worried. If there's a couple guys I'm not worried about being in shape when it comes time to play, and that's Saquon Barkley. I think this is part of the business. It's never fun when it's not smooth, but just like in any realm of life, it's about getting to where you're trying to go at the right time. I think by the time we get ready to rock and roll with as much positive momentum as the Giants have going into this year, with Daniel Jones looking like he's finally the guy paired with Brian Daboll, who continues to prove every year with all these quarterbacks, just ask Josh Allen now that he left Buffalo, that he is one of the best quarterback developers, regardless of where you're at in your development, whether you're just starting out, whether you're already somewhat of a star that needs to elevate, or you're somebody that's struggling, that's trying to find their way in this league. Brian Daboll, He's got the magic elixir, and he's not just some, snake oil salesman in the Wild West trying to give you, some alcohol that says it cures everything. He's actually got the recipe.
Dragon, will Saquon ball next year for the Giants?
Yeah, duh. What do you mean? I'm the last person I'm worried about on this team is Saquon, right? You got to remember what the Giants did. They did with a bunch of no-names on offense, especially a receiver.
Richie James.
Daniel Jones, he'll come out there with over 200 yards and sell you insurance. So, I mean, and look at their defense.
Run for 85.
Our run for 85, yeah, that is true. But the balance that Daboll had when it comes to offensive play calling, what's it about? When you're offensive player, it's just called mixing your plays. It's a layering game. That's what it is. You want everything to look the same, but had a little difference on it. That's what you have to do in the NFL. Look, if there's a team to buy the next couple of years, I'm buying the Giants.
All right, last one here. The Big Ten has announced the hiring of former Major League Baseball and television executive Tony Petitti as the conference next commissioner. Takes over for Kevin Warren. What do you guys think?
I think it's a great hire. When you look at his background, we know how crazy the TV rights situation is, and moving forward, how important it is. He has experience there. He has experience, being at the top of a major money-making organization, even though I think they could do it a lot better in the MLB. But out of all the candidates, I do think they picked the right guy going forward, with Kevin Warren now being gone, who I wasn't a big fan of. I think he was pretty fake. You talk about a diverse background in sports media. Like you said, he's a former COO of Major League Baseball. He followed Rob Manfred, who became the commissioner, who we're not a big fan of, in 2015. He also oversaw the day-to-day operations of CSTV, the network that would eventually become the CBS Sports Network, Dave, for a 4-month stint in 2008. So this guy's got a lot of experience. I think he actually really cares.
Good.
When I listen to him talk and I watch him work, I think this guy is really trying to do what's in the interest of the Big Ten, not just raise his profile, whether that be politically or through the sports world.
Kevin Warren decision-making and lack of leadership in some instances during COVID, were sort of my biggest frustrations with him, even though I'll give Kevin Warren credit for guiding the UCLA and USC expansion, into the Big Ten, which was huge. But Greg Sankey from the SEC really led during that time. So I'm excited to see if Tony Petitti can come in and really, like you said, really show that he cares about collegiate athletics, especially at a time when we need as much leadership as possible, because the NCAA's influence is sort of, going the other way.
It's waning. I mean, it's going the way of the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Club boosters.
Texas said, so the Commanders are selling for $6 billion, but still don't have any parking at the stadium.
It doesn't shock me. It's Washington, D.C. You think they're going to figure anything out? By the way, call in 1-855-236-3228.
All right, let's go to Josh Reagan. What's up, Josh? Q's for the bros. How much money would you personally put up just to turn the Commanders back into the Skins, or Guardians back into the Indians?
Personal money?
Personal?
That P money.
I don't root for either team. No, hell no.
Let something happen to the Braves?
Oh.
Let something happen to the Braves name?
Yeah, we'll pass the plate around.
I won't be here for a couple days.
Yeah.
How much money would you put up for the Braves?
There's a hill to die on.
How much money would you put up for the Braves?
It won't be cash.
Check?
Won't be
Not check?
Won't be monetary.
Oh.
Cashier's check?
Don't throw your big words at me, David, okay?
I don't know. I'd throw some bread.
How much bread are you throwing, cuh?
Hey, and be careful when you talk to him. Be careful.
Y'all shut up.
Be careful.
Can't even have fun anymore.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you,
no,
David.
no,
I appreciate
Good
it.
God. How much bread? How much bread are you tossing up?
No fun Friday.
You can get 1,000.
A G.
A G?
A cool stack.
Throw your stack.
No money for me.
Not for the Braves?
Stopping the movement in
stack.
other ways.
Not for the Braves. What are you doing?
I want one of those.
What's the other ways, David?
I want one of those bricks.
I don't like that.
Stadium with my name on it.
Are you a threat? Are you a threat to the Braves?
You already took all my money because I can't watch games. I can't watch.
Are you a threat to the Braves?
Huh?
David, he's baiting you.
Yeah, he is. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
No.
You see that? He brings out the worst.
One more.
Let's go to Sister Riggs. Hashtag Ask Crane and Company. Who do y'all have winning the gymnastic natty tomorrow? Utah, Oklahoma, LSU, or Florida?
Give me LSU. Libby Dunn.
Let's go Gators. Chomp, baby.
LSU.
Okay.
Chomp, chomp.
Giving the Gators some love there after your football preview.
Well, I mean, God, y'all might win 3 games in football. I don't know what the deal is. Adios, Billy.
Beam. All right, let's get to calls.
Andrew,
Call me.
West Virginia.
Yes.
What's going on, Andrew?
Sup, great to go.
What's up, Drew?
Man?
Quick. I have two quick statements. To my friend Grace out in West Virginia, happy early birthday. Her birthday's tomorrow, by the way.
All right, happy level up
day.
And also a quick NBA statement. Are we all in agreement that the Warriors kind of stole their statement, aka alternate jerseys from the University of California's away jerseys? If you look up a picture of both of those jerseys, they look almost identical.
Yeah, they actually do. I'll say this. There are slight differences, But to be honest with you, Andrew, I love them. I think they're fantastic. I mean, we see the it's just like saying, all right, the old Braves jerseys are, kind of exposy. It's everything. You get inspiration from different things. As long as it's not exactly the same and I like the way it looks, I'm fine with it.
I like them.
I like them a lot.
Well, there's so many teams with so many jerseys. You can always find another team that looks like it copied them. Yeah, at the end of the day.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Also, what's it called? Speaking of the NBA, I have two questions, NBA and MLB. So, NBA, who do y'all got winning it all? The play-in games are right now, but the playoffs start tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
who do y'all got making it with all?
Winning it all?
And my second question is, thoughts on the Tampa Bay Rays? They're 13-0 right now, but I don't think they're. Do you think they could win that division despite the Yankees existing in that division?
I'm going to answer your second question first. I still like the Yankees to win the division. The Rays starting off really hot. They look great. Has the schedule been fantastic? No. They basically played a couple series against, little league teams, as crazy as that is to say. But I don't want to take anything away from what they're doing down there. When it comes to the NBA, I am going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. I've been saying it. That's who I'm going with. That's who I'm riding with. They didn't have Chris Middleton last year. They are a totally different team with Chris Middleton. The amount of pressure that takes off Giannis and really that whole team. Give me the Milwaukee Bucks to not only get over the Celtics in the East, but to go win the whole thing.
Well, in the AL East, I am going to switch my pick to the Rays. Because if Major League Baseball has taught us anything, the team that starts really hot, they always play well in the middle, and then they finish strong too. So I'm going to take the Rays, but just not tonight, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
All right.
Andrew, thanks,
Appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks so much. All right, boys, we have a Pongo situation.
Okay.
Nick S. from Dallas, Texas. Pongo, I don't think we got to him Wednesday. Nick, what's going on?
Hey, guys, this is Blazing Grizzly.
Yes! That is one of my favorite call
That's
signs.
fucking solid.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to call in and wanted to ask you guys a question about the NHL.
Yeah.
How can we fix the NHL other than it being and stopping the wokeness? How can we fix this?
Well, in what terms are you talking about?
Well, popularity. I mean, I feel like they say, NHL is for everybody, but I mean, you talk about trying to get kids into this sport, and it's expensive.
That's the biggest problem.
Just a lot of the wokeness and everything.
Well, the wokeness doesn't help. We've talked about that, till we're blue in the face. Whether it's and I think the NHL is actually going toward getting rid of these pride nights. I really hope so. They talked about it. I don't think we should bring the bedroom to the ballpark in any stretch of the imagination in any sport. You brought up the expensive part. Look at the way the economy is right now. I mean, people don't have a lot of money to go out there and if you're struggling just trying to get through everyday stuff, go out and buy buy the things that you need to put your child or whoever you're trying to get into a legitimate hockey, routine or to give them a chance to move on. But as far as growing the game, we look at MLB, Play 60 and all that stuff. I mean, you would have to just go in communities and give them resources to be able to do it because it's a whole hell of a lot easier for me to go kick a soccer ball or throw a football or do any of that stuff than it is to have to find a place to be able to play hockey, number one. Number two, to be able to afford all the equipment. You almost have to go in there and just try and, for lack of a better term, just pop up shop and see who comes.
And look, you're always going to have a geographical problem with hockey.
True.
We're from the South, right? Hockey, you can't just go out and skate on a pond, But with that being said, hockey, the NHL specifically right now has a perfect opportunity with so many other professional sports leagues going woke, like we were talking about, people turning away from the NBA a little bit, people turning away from the NFL, even NASCAR to a certain extent. Hockey could have a situation here where they say, you know what, we're going to lean into traditional values. I think you could get a lot of people in the South who are traditionally football and basketball fans to say, you know what, I like this hockey thing.
Well, it's the same problem with golf, right? At the end of the day, when it comes to kids, you have to make your game not expensive to play. All right, the same thing with hockey. They're going to have a geographic problem, obviously. It's expensive to go play golf as a kid. It's expensive to get those clubs, to get those balls, to go enter that tournament. It's not cheap to get the blades, the pads, the stick. It's a lot cheaper when it comes to football. It doesn't cost a lot to play football. It's kind of expensive, almost a little expensive to play baseball at the end of the day, especially putting money for these leagues, especially rec ball. if it's easy to play, especially the kids in like middle class and lower, that's what it comes down to. If you keep going for the high class kids, I get it. But if you want to spread your sport, you have to make it cheap to play.
Well, I want to say this too. As somebody who wasn't a huge hockey fan until he went to an actual game, I feel like if the NHL could just find a way, I don't know if it's some initiative of free tickets or something to get people to go to the game, I think they'd fall in love with it. Mm-hmm. Because if the difference in going to a hockey game as opposed to watching it on TV, obviously it's going to be different, but the excitement level, the atmosphere, the community feeling, the intensity, there's a lot of similarities and parallels to football, the physicality, the contact. Yep. I think if you get people inside that arena, you're going to create fans.
Yes, because the on-ice product is top tier.
It's top tier.
The on-ice product is good. Nick, we really appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling back in.
Blazing Grizzlies.
Saved by the Klaven, Knoxville, Tennessee. What's going on, Daniel?
Vegas.
Love the badge.
Hey, guys. This is Daniel. Saved by the Klaven is my name on, as you know me by. First of all, just wanted to thank you for all the shout outs, especially to that esports team. Sadly, we went down. It was close, but hey, we made it to the Sweet 16.
Great year one, right? It's year one. Year one with you behind the helm.
Year two.
Year two.
Year two behind
early.
The helm. But we didn't make tournament last year, so good improvement. I'm happy with the kids.
What was the final, Andrew? Is it like a series or is it like it's a series, isn't it?
Oh, Daniel, man, it's anyways, no, it's sorry, will you ask that again? I misheard.
Yeah,
that.
so when you is it a single elimination? Because usually when they do tournaments in the esports, you got to lose 2 out of 3 against the team you're playing.
Yeah, so we do best of 7. And so we do best 7, and then it's a single elimination on the tournament. So, but
nice.
Anyways,
well, of course, bro,
it's pretty cool. But anyways, I was wondering, and I'm originally from Georgia, so I got to ask my man from Statesboro. You might be familiar with Woodstock, and a lot of players went down to play at Georgia Southern. So I'm hoping I can get permission for this. But I was thinking of maybe venturing into my own Get Off My Lawn. Is that okay with you, Cone?
Hey, buddy, it's a movement. Mm-hmm. It's a movement. Please.
It's a big lawn.
It's a movement. It is. And you inspired me. And so with that said, being from Atlanta, being a fan of the Braves and the Falcons for some reason, I have a problem with streaming blackout games.
Oh, tell him, brother.
We pay for these subscriptions, right? Like I pay for Peacock. I pay for ESPN Plus for some because I signed up for that thing, so I got to wait for that to expire before I can cancel that garbage. But I also have Fox. I've got all the I got SEC Network, ACC Network. And for some reason, they think the only games I want to watch here in Knoxville, even though geographically I am closer to Atlanta and Nashville, are the Panthers and whatever that crap they call baseball in Cincinnati. So my problem is like if I want to watch hot garbage, I'll just watch a live stream of the Harbor in San Francisco, or just turn on CNN for that matter.
Yes.
But if I'm paying for MLB and all these other subscriptions, I should be able to watch the game whenever I want, wherever I want, as they promised.
Preach.
So get off my lawn.
There we go,
that's
brother.
Fantastic stuff.
Yes.
And you know what? Everybody else feels that way. It sucks. These people are the worst. They're the worst. I feel like every time a game's blacked out, there should be money coming back into my account, or I should be getting something free. Imagine that in any other walk of life. Oh, hey, man, we told you we were going to have French fries today with your order, but all blacked out of French fries, man. But we're going to keep the money you paid for the French fries, though.
I don't like that.
Hell no.
French fries.
To me, I don't want to go too far. I think it's crooked. There's always some dispute, too, somebody disputing something in this marketplace. If I pay for you to stream me all the damn games, I want to watch all the games, or else that's false advertising, in my opinion.
Hockey has the same problem, and that was beautiful. That nearly brings a tear to my eye. Great get off my lawn, Daniel. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Daniel.
Dan, good year.
Appreciate it, man. All right, we have another caller from Knoxville, Tennessee. Brian, I'm not going to say his call sign. Brian, I want you to tell these boys your call sign here.
Gentlemen, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yes.
You have La Flama Blanca.
Yes.
The white flame? The white flame?
Let's go.
You love to see it.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. Eastbound and Down, by far the greatest TV sports show of all time.
Hands down.
Sports show for sure.
Hands down.
Absolutely nothing better. And dovetailing off of Kenny Powers, guys, I played Division I baseball as a pitcher for 4 years, and I got to say that now that we're 3 weeks into the season, the pitch clock, I think, is absolutely horrendous.
Awful.
I heard Cone say a couple times he kind of likes it. I think it's moving games along, but I read a little article last night that it shaves about a half hour off the end of a game. And then it had me thinking, I'm 35 years old, and I thought, what is a half hour to some of these kids that they're trying to attract to watch the game when, a 6 minute short on TikTok is too long.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Go ahead. Go ahead, finish.
Secondary, one last thing. So the only other point I had regarding the pitch clock, and I'll let you guys talk and I'll listen, but outside of timing, what I saw the pitch clock do in multiple games already, particularly on opening night, I put some money on, with DraftKings, of course, on the Houston Astros, and Framber Valdez was trying to deliver a pitch on a 1-1 count that looked like he almost fell on his right hip because there was 1 second left on the stupid clock, changed the at-bat, gave up a double down the right field line, run ended up scoring, and anyways, Houston loses momentum, ends up losing the game. I swear to you, had that pitch clock not been in play, they could have had a cat and mouse at bat, just like they're supposed to. That's how the game was designed. And, next thing you know, teams are losing games. Nobody notices. But, hey, you saved 26 minutes.
Again, man, I'm right there with you. I've said this from the beginning. It's a multi-pronged problem for me. So you changed one of the biggest things that makes baseball great, anticipation, routine, that moment pre-pitch where the guys are getting ready. You changed that to save 30 minutes on a 3.5 hour 9-inning experience. You know what that's like? That's like somebody suffering from a heart attack and a gunshot wound, and they have a paper cut, and the EMT showing up and working on the paper cut first. It makes no sense. It doesn't help. Doesn't help you at all. The person's going to die. You're not saving the game.
Heart attack and a gunshot. And a gunshot wound.
Well, you got shot in the heart.
Dead.
How about that? So your heart's being attacked by a bullet wound. There we go. Fixed it. Second thing. It's way too complicated. It's way too complicated. Again, why can we not?
Guys, I hate it.
Yeah, why can we not just say, you know what? Here's the clock. When it hits 8 seconds, there's no more time for the batter. The ball can be delivered. Okay? But no, we have this guy has this clock. This guy has this clock. This guy has this clock. That guy has that clock. It's like a watch factory in there, man. There's so many clocks going on. I feel like I'm on the second last episode of Hunters.
I'm trying to fix baseball. All right. If you want it to be fixed, I'm trying to fix it. Juice the balls.
And fight.
No, climate change got us. Climate change got us.
Juice the pitchers. All right. They want home runs. They want to see balls get hit 500 feet. They want to see balls get thrown 103 miles per hour. That's what the kids want. If you're going for the kids, right, for the younger viewership, let them fight. All right? Let them fight.
Juice the balls.
Let them fight. Juice the balls. Juice the hitters. Hell, juice the fans. Juice the beers.
Don't fall into it. I didn't say
he
it.
did. That's 2.
That's fine. We're good. We're still under the hook.
He got you.
Still under the hook.
All right, so
18
Brian,
minutes?
I appreciate your perspective, especially as a former pitcher. A few distinctions here. I agree with Jake on the point of I don't like the mechanism, right? The mechanism is not right. I appreciate the result more, and the result is not even necessarily for me a shorter game because I never had a problem with the length of baseball games. It's the rhythm of an inning that I actually like a lot more now. On the shaving the 30 minutes off, I mean, 30 minutes over a 162-game season, that is significant. I'll tell you a better analogy that I think of just because I've made videos and films for a while is if you had a 3-hour movie that a director brought in and a producer says, okay, well, we have to get this down to 2.5 hours to be ready to go into the theaters, that 30 minutes is going to be significant. That affects your movie-going experience. So night in and night out, 30 minutes is going to matter a lot, even though I agree with you guys, the mechanism seems a little bit off to me. Get in the batter's box and be ready to hit. You don't have to straighten your gloves every time and look down for a sign, a bunt sign. Because we don't bunt anymore.
It's a beautiful dance, David. That's what it is. Sometimes you can't rush a dance.
Okay, that's fine too. I can get behind that. Yeah. I can get behind that.
Hey, locked in.
Can you get in front of it, though?
Locked
That's
in.
the thing.
Locked in. Stop it. Brian, we appreciate that,
Gentlemen, one last thing. Hey, I apologize to Blaine. As another man now with Blaine, La Flama Blanca, I should have wished you a happy Flaming Dragon Friday. So
Hey, look, what you're under. What are you under right now? All right, you're in the trust tree and you're under the wing. All right, you're in the nest. You're nice and warm.
It's a good spot to
All right,
be.
you're nice and warm. You stay there. You keep throwing them heaters, baby. I'll see you later today.
Great call. Great call, La Flama Blanca.
Thanks, Brian.
Scott in Oregon. What's going on, Scott?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Happy Flaming Dragon Friday to you all.
What's up, Scott?
So I got a couple call signs here, and I'm going to let you guys pick them. In high school, back in the early days, they called me Dr. Jekyll because at 5'8", 150, I was not very intimidating. Okay, I admit it. I was not the intimidating guy. However, when I put the uniform on, I suddenly became Mike Trout.
Oh,
I didn't care about my body. I had no fear. Once I was on that field or on the court, it was it. I was taking on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I like that.
My other one is what my daughter calls me, and that's old timer, and you can kind of guess because my age. So I'm gonna let you all decide what you think I should be called.
I want Dr. Jekyll.
I'm not going to say Mike Trout. I don't want it to be fully.
What about Dr.
I'm
Trout?
going to call you Mikey T.
How about Dr. Trout?
Mikey T.
So now we've come to no consensus at all.
Now we've totally changed the one thing you wanted us to do.
We're not good at instructions.
Is Dr. Trout? I like that.
Hey, you know what? I'm good with it all. So
okay.
It doesn't matter to me. The other thing is I'm going to keep it easy on Friday. So I have a specific question for you, Jake, and then kind of one for all three of you. I'm sure you didn't. No, my question for you, Jake, is because you're a fairly young guy. At least everyone's young to me,
Thanks.
but you're young, and you got out of coaching to go on the podcast. And I'm just curious why you stepped out of coaching when I can tell you have a love for sports and you have a definite love for football.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious why you made that step out. And then the question for all three of you is kind of how did y'all meet? I mean, I get you and Flaming Dragon are brothers, but Mr. Cohen, how did you guys meet? I'm just curious about that.
Yeah.
Careful when you tell this story.
Yes.
That's Flaming Dragon over there.
I feel like was there some.
Yeah,
you did exactly what I wanted.
Dr. Strange.
You did exactly what I wanted.
Okay. COVID is why. So when COVID hit, they sent everybody back. So the players went back. I went back and saw some family because you don't ever get to see family and when you get to a high level of coaching. I mean, even in high school, So during COVID, I just started messing around with it, and then it blew up. And I was young enough to where, because I was actually interviewing for the defensive coordinator spot, and I just started messing around, and it got big, and I realized, hey, I feel like I can make money doing this, and I don't have to worry about 18 to 22-year-olds doing what I'm asking them to do, and how they perform depends on how much food I can put on my family's table. That was one reason. But look, I love it. I love coaching. I love sports. But I will say this. I get to watch sports. I get to talk about sports. And when the players don't play good, I don't get fired. So that's the best way I can put it. But you never lose that competitive edge. But you can be competitive in this. So it was a blessing in disguise. As far as meeting-wise, yeah, Flamin' Dragon, we're brothers, but I only met him like 2 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. With Cone, you got to understand, I was just doing the J-Boy show by myself. There was no three of us or whatever. Cone was the had a video company, production company, that when I went to Atlanta, because these investors wanted to put me on video because I was just doing audio, he was the guy there to get me on video. And we just hit it off, and he's unbelievably knowledgeable and played at a high level. And one day when we were in the College Football Hall of Fame, I just brought him and Flamin' Dragon on.
He did, and thank God you did.
Yeah.
We've come a long way. In the first meeting I ever had with this kid, we talked for 45 minutes about everything. Sports, we were talking about music. I was working on a sports show, pitching it around at that time, which I won't say the name of it. We may do something with it in the future. And I just wanted to work with the guy. First time I met this kid, he said, I want to be the Joe Rogan of sports. I said, anybody who's that ambitious, I have to get involved with. And the first interview we did, Coach Hugh Freeze was the first interview we did together, and he had already had a successful podcast with the J-Boy Show. So I'm just thankful to be a part of it there, Scott.
It's a great team.
Well, you know what? I'm thankful for you three, and I appreciate you guys and all you do, and just keep up the great job.
Definitely. Well, hey, Dr. Trout, you're the man.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate it, Mikey T.
All right, do we have time here for one more? Let's go, Steve, Ohio. What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Hey, just wanted to let y'all know that I put the Richard Todd cards in the mail yesterday.
Yes,
thank you. Go.
And according to the tracking, they should be there tomorrow.
Good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Do we know where the rugby ball is?
Papa Rich
figure that out, or is that gone forever? Aaron Hernandez.
Someone better be having the time of their lives.
I think a black hole got it.
I think JT's up to something. Or PJ, excuse me.
Anyway, I want to give a big thank you to PJ and Sister Riggs. They made sure I got the address.
Look, those
okay, good.
Queens, fantastic, fantastic.
Running the show.
Okay, now for the reason for my call. I need to call out Ben Shapiro.
Oh, boy.
All right, I'm going to head out.
What did he do?
All right. On the last backstage, which I think was the same day that you all did the national championship game for March Madness, he said that he did 88 push-ups in 1 minute.
Yeah, y'all remember we did push-ups, I'm pretty sure, on the live stream that day because we heard. Like, the thing about me when it comes to push-ups is this. Like, it comes down to form, all right? A legitimate push-up comes down to form. So a lot of people don't know this about Ben. Ben's low-key kind of cut. Like, he's kind of jacked a little bit.
We're not just saying that
like, he's kind of jacked a little bit.
So Steve, you're not buying into the 88 in a minute? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not. There's no.
We will get to the bottom of this, my friend.
We'll get Ben in here
to the bottom of this.
See if he can knock it out.
I did 23 years in the Army, and so that says that I know what a proper push-up looks like. And if he was doing a proper push-up, there's no way he hit 88 in 1 minute.
We'll ask him.
I tend to agree, to be honest.
That's one of those things.
I don't do proper push-ups with the old left shoulder.
Look, I get it.
I go as far down as I can, man.
I'm basically real steel over here.
But then I don't
need some bolts I have in my shoulder.
Flaming Dragon has more hooks than Drake in his shoulder.
It's his shoulder.
That's a bar right there.
All right, Steve, we're going to find out. We'll get to the bottom of that.
Okay.
Thanks for your service, sir.
Appreciate your service, bro.
Appreciate it. All right. Craig, also Craig from Ohio. Hey, call in next Monday. Say Pongo. We'll get you to the top of the list,
Pongo.
All right. Love it.
Here we go. Let's get
Good job, fellas.
Huh? We're not through the woods yet. Don't start congratulating anybody yet.
Good job.
Nobody's excited about anything yet. We still got like 9 minutes for the rest of your life.
Shut up about it every 2 minutes. He keeps bringing it up. Can't even have fun.
Focused and
Debbie, dude.
Dude, we're winning
such
by
a
the
killer of fun.
We're winning by the hook right now.
Are we? It's 2.5?
It's 2.5.
I thought it was 3.5.
We're at 2.
I just make
but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because we're going to finish.
And 8 minutes of silence.
Yes.
No, we're not doing that.
Here's what we got.
Here's what
I got yesterday, college baseball. Look, I'm riding the college baseball train, fellas.
Are you? Did you hit yesterday?
Hashtag
believe. Yeah, believe that.
Sign.
Here we go. Tonight, give me North Carolina. They lost to Miami last night. They're ranked 13th. They're at home. They need a dub to even the series. Pair that with Florida money line at home, LSU money line. They absolutely spanked Kentucky like your kids acting bad in Kmart. That's plus 292 together. Then my second bet, Mississippi State, Super Bulldog weekend, Ole Miss at home, going to be packed. Both teams are underachieving, but I'll take Mississippi State plus 135 at home against the Rebs. Figure it out, guys.
Go ahead, Dave. You go second. Go ahead, Dave. Don't switch it up now. You're second. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Yesterday, Rays won, got to 13-0. They've been hitting for me. So I take them again tonight, right? No. The streak ends here. They will not set the record.
You're abandoning them, huh?
They're going on the road to play the Blue Jays now. They just beat the Red Sox. They've beaten the Athletics. They've beaten the Nationals. I think they're going to have a tougher time trying to break that record on the road at the Blue Jays. I'm going to go Braves, money line, minus 140.
Charlie Morton on
hockey, okay? Last game of the regular season here. I'm going to go Preds, money line, hosting the Avalanche, and here's why. The Avalanche have already clinched. They're ready. They're focused on the postseason. Preds are going home. Have a little pride tonight at home. When I say pride, I don't mean waving those rainbow flags around like
Jake
my boy
and the
back here
Preds
goes
have
to pride.
pride.
I'm talking about have a little pride here. Home ice advantage, okay? In the regular season, the right way. Preds, money line tonight. Plus 160.
He said it too. Don't look at me. He said it too.
It would be a funny joke.
It's always me. That's the thing. He's too
on
scared to say
Pride
anything
Night-
about you, David. Y'all little butt buddies over here. He's too scared to say anything about you.
What I
You
do?
brought up
Don't let him beat you.
that I had. No, I've got a thought.
What is going on?
Don't even talk to him.
Oh,
Let it go.
my God.
I
We'll
brought
handle
my
it after.
fiance.
Oh, my.
We'll handle it after.
Have
Fiance.
fun
Hey.
anymore.
Hey.
Who's a female
Jeez.
to the NHL game, and it just so happened to be Pride Night.
Oh, my.
Okay, I didn't show up dressed like Sam Smith at a concert. All right, rubbing a balloon.
V3ing out here.
Okay?
Good. I wouldn't be
here's-
surprised if the audio guy chimes it's like, hey, guys, he's baiting you. You better watch out.
Ryan, can you do that, please?
Jeez.
Could you please tell
Yeah,
him? Actually, I'm
cool.
not doing it. I'm not even
Read.
Great. Awesome.
You
Sweet.
read.
Give me the Rays money line. What's that hanging above my head? Oh, yeah, that's right. Believe. All right, then give me the cards. -1.5. That's plus 120. Rays money line -130. 2-0 yesterday. 14-12. Whatever.
Ace Cone. He's giving the Orioles money line -120, and then the Brew Crew starting off pretty good of the year, 9-4, I think. Money line plus a dirty 130. Booster Club.
Yeah.
As we wind down the week.
Let's go to Bengals Nerd, a.k.a. I'm pretty sure that's Deacon and Nora. She says, I agree. Nobody wants 8 minutes of silence, and 1v3 is not fair. Let's go to Josh Reagan. Blaine, go ECU baseball on a 5-game winning streak.
ECU.
How about
I bet on
that?
the other
East
night.
Carolina.
I bet they have fire uniforms.
Also, 1 verse 3. This guy claims to be a dragon, so yeah. Okay.
I am a
Yeah,
dragon.
when we get
That's still one.
When the city
That's still one,
when the
David.
city slays the dragon,
That's still
everyone's
one.
celebrating.
it already hit, right?
Hold on, I'm too busy destroying your lawn.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. Look
Watch-
outside.
watch
It's all
yourself.
burning. You and the lawn gnome.
So now that we can say that the under hit,
Wait,
right?
did it officially?
I mean, we got 3 minutes left.
Just do the poll and then it will. Then it's
Yeah.
done. Do the
Poll.
poll. Just don't touch it.
Poll.
I tell you what. Don't ask me for any
I
favors.
tell
back
you
there.
what, man.
I
You
never
got
will.
John
Don't ask me for any favors.
I tell you
there.
what.
Don't
don't
text
need
me at
your
10:30 to
stop
come pick you
stalling.
up off of Broadway.
Stop stalling.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
Start calling you Joseph.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm stalling.
Is climate change real? Yes or no?
Climate change.
Yes.
Yes, the climate change.
The climate changes, yes, 75%.
Are we solely responsible for everything that happens to Mother Nature?
70%? What's yours?
No. Yes, 69%.
Wow, not even close. No, 63%. Yes, 37%. You guys are super smart.
Angry.
Super smart over there.
And you know
huh?
what? Since the under hit
Yeah, tell them.
on Flamin' Dragon Friday, everybody turn your attention to the monitors.
It
Guess
has
what? Backstreet's
3 minutes
back,
left.
All right,
We got
let's
3
go
minutes
ahead.
left.
Play it.
Yes. Yes.
Right there,
I
baby.
thought that was going to be cooler than what it was, to be
We're a
honest.
video game now.
Yes.
Right,
You
just
You
think
see
about it.
that?
Can we get that on the
Wait, play it
TVs
again.
here?
Play it again.
Play it
please.
again. Can we get it on the screen in here? I wanna
can we
see
get
it.
Play that dragon.
I still can't see it.
Yeah, see? Good God. Justine, you're too worried about defending them instead of getting on the TVs anymore.
Oh, we look
It's for the
good.
fans to
We're-
see.
we got black belt.
It's
Yeah,
not
I
about
bet.
you.
I bet.
Blaine.
Whatever.
Hey, don't be nasty.
No, you don't be nasty.
Nasty, don't be negative.
Don't be nasty
Don't
over
be
here.
nasty.
I will
Don't be
cut your
nasty.
mic
okay?
so fast.
We're a video game.
She said she'll cut.
Ryan, did you hear that? Yeah, thank you,
I don't know if
that's good.
all the fans can hear our audio guys. Yeah, she can't do that.
Yeah, that was good. Good job,
All right,
guys.
thanks. All right, the booster club before we leave.
Okay, let's go to Jared Hallett. Jared, never seen you in here. What's up, man? Welcome to the chat. Can you imagine if there's a video of Jake out there waving a little pride flag at Pride Night?
Hell no.
Oh, it's out there.
No, it's
little
not.
pride
Any
flag.
proof that there's
I'm
not?
Jake's one of those guys running the team out on the field in football with those size flags, just waving it around. Woo!
with the tight shorts.
Yeah, with the tight shorts on. He's wearing the Sam Smith outfit, right? Singing the national anthem with the
Yeah, it's
devil
funny. They
horns
had
on.
Blaine. They hogged
Boom,
him.
there it is. That counts.
Yeah, what,
That counts.
Our
Show's not over.
our graphic
Show's
already-
not over.
graphic already played. We
No,
did
but that
the
doesn't mean
over.
anything. We have never set rules. The only rule we set was what? After the what?
Blaine.
Monologue.
Blaine. It already played.
Play my graphic.
Stop it.
He's so hurt about the graphic. All right.
Yes. Yes. It's a win.
It's not.
It's a win.
Good job. Hey, great job.
Graphic, it's
It's not your winning graphic. It's your intro.
Hold on. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Awesome. Thank you. Let's
Make
go.
sure you subscribe, follow us everywhere. Don't personally follow us everywhere. Follow us on social media. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the Daily Wire Plus. Fantastic stuff over there. Got a great Saturday special. Thanks to all our guests this week. Make sure, again, guys, keep spreading the word. We really, really appreciate it. And like the chances of the overhit.
It hit.
No, it didn't. It hit.
The chat said it hit.
Oh, my gosh. Did anybody just see that?
It'd be better if you caught it.
He did.
That was crazy.
What is a catch?
And we're gone after that one. See you guys next week.